Hello, my name is Sukhpal Buller. I'm a fourth year psychology and philosophy dual major. My poster board project was informed by a curiosity into meditation, consciousness, and its neural correlates through the lens of psychology and science. The poster is titled Neural Correlates of Focused Attention and Cognitive Monitoring in Meditation. It is based on a study of the same name by Manna and others. Now, meditation refers to a family of complex emotional and attentional regulatory practices. In the study, a comparative analysis of focused attention meditation and open monitoring meditation in relation to resting periods was conducted through the use of functional magnetic resonance imaging in both monks and novices. The evidence found suggests that expert meditators control cognitive engagement and that anterior cingulate and dorsolateral prefrontal cortices play antagonist roles in the attention setting and meditation tasks. Overall, the authors found that they had reconciled a controversy regarding the neural correlates of consciousness and meditation, and that mental practice of meditation leads to functional reorganization of the brain in regards to its plasticity. The objective of Manna and others was to test whether focused attention and open monitoring meditation styles enhance or, by contrast, reduce brain activations in frontal and other executive areas, given the controversial evidence and theoretical stances in contemporary literature. Furthermore, they wish to examine differentiable brain activity patterns in focused attention and open monitoring meditation forms. Now, there are some important terms to consider for this study. They are cognitive control, prefrontal cortex, and the neural correlates of consciousness. Cognitive control refers to the top-down control that an individual has over their own mental states. For example, if an individual is experiencing a panic attack, focusing on their breathing is a method by which to effect top-down cognitive control over their unwarranted mental state of panic into a warranted one of neutrality. The prefrontal cortex is a region of the brain concerned with executive control and decision-making. A key element of the PFC is the default mode network, as it is considered an organizing principle of the self. Evidence discussed later will examine the implication of meditation and the default mode network. A neural correlate of consciousness is a term that aims to identify a conscious experience with a particular neuronal activation pattern. A common example is that the neural correlate of pain is the activation of C fibers. In this case, Manna and others consider executive regions of the brain as neural correlates for indicating meditational phenomenology, such that the prefrontal cortex is implicated as a neural correlate of meditation. Now, the authors pulled from previous literature and they hypothesize that it indicates an increase in brain activation will result due to meditation in frontoparietal areas. Stated otherwise, meditation causes increased activation in executive regions of the brain. Now, the experiment consisted of 8 Theravada Buddhist monks and 8 novice meditators. Both groups were exclusively male. Manna and others utilized a focused attention, open monitoring meditation experimental paradigm, as indicated by the figure below. The green indicates periods of rest, blue periods of focused attention meditation, and orange or yellow open meditation or open monitoring meditation. In the green or resting conditions, a total of 3 minutes elapses, and in the blue and orange or blue and yellow, the meditation is 6 minutes long. So according to these sessions, fMRI data was taking records as well as other physiological measures such as respiration, electrocardiogram, and electroencephalogram. The data analysis utilized Brain Voyager software, wherein a statistical analysis was conducted through the general linear model. Lastly, the quantitative evaluation of differences between monk and novice groups utilized a between group analysis. So the data indicated a significant positive correlation within the monk group in focused attention brain activity and meditation expertise, both within the inferior frontal gyrus and left posterior insula. For the novice group, a single activation in the left posterior cingulate was found in the focused attention in rest condition. So the figure here in our data and results is showing that there is a significant positive correlation in terms of the amount of expertise that the monk has in terms of meditation hours and the neuronal activity of certain regions of the brain. So as we see here, as expertise increases, so does the significance of the neuronal activity. Same thing with the second one. Now this graph is looking mostly at the monks. It is not looking at the novices. However, the focus of this presentation is to see how mental practice of meditation will result in changes in cognitive control and neural plasticity. So overall, the authors found striking differences between the patterns of brain activity within the monk group in focused attention Overall, the authors found striking differences between the patterns of brain activity in monks and novices in OM and FA meditation styles. This indicates that mental practice leads to positive developments in cognitive control. The current literature on the neural correlate of consciousness of meditation polemicize whether meditation leads to broad activation or deactivation of executive networks. However, the data indicated that meditation does both, that specifically in the monks, a massive deactivation of the left anterior and posterior insula in the focused attention rest condition, and that there was also a consistent activation of the left anterior insula in the open monitoring in the open monitoring meditation. So this says that there's both periods of activity and periods of inactivity. Neuronal populations in brain regions ordinarily linked to self-referential processing are reallocated to a metacognitive observation of phenomenal experience and of the experiencing subject, which suggests a sense of transcendence and a furthering of a potential hypothesis. And this hypothesis is that the functioning of the default mode network is linked to the precuneus/posterior cingulate cortex, wherein the deactivation of the posterior cingulate cortex correlates with the deactivation of self-referential processing and an increase in metacognitive transcendental awareness. So, to conclude, in this study, the authors examined the differentiable brain activity patterns in focused attention and open monitoring meditation forms in 8 Theravada Buddhist monks and 8 novices. They found that both focused attention and open monitoring meditation styles resulted in activation and deactivation in specific regions of the brain. And the monks happened to showcase heightened neural differentiation than the novices. There are some implications that follow. Firstly, it is that the phenomena of transcendence being described in open monitoring meditation indicates that there is a presence of a non-judgmental awareness of sensory, cognitive, and affective fields of experience in the present moment, and that it involves a higher order awareness or observation of the ongoing mental processes. This is counterintuitive to our intuitions about how brain activity relates to higher order processing. For if the posterior cingulate cortex is diminished in activity, is downregulated in activity, how a higher order awareness or observation of ongoing mental processes comes about is left to question. So our final implication is that this indicates that the subject is undergoing a metacognitive observation of phenomenal experience in open monitoring meditation, which result in the cultivation of wholesome mental states going beyond the cognition of a separated self. Qualitatively, what is found is that there is a fading away of the self-concept and a sense of transcendence. This sense of transcendence, of course, requires that there is a set of mental practices so that the amount of meditation hours or expertise increases, the higher likelihood of achieving this transcendental state. Thank you.